Lamar.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. It's a wonderful Friday morning here in New York.
Good, I'm glad. You've recently received your first Tony Award nomination as producer for Best Musical New York, New York. You've made history as you are one of the youngest Black producers to receive a Tony nomination. Congratulations. How does it all feel?
Thank you, thank you. No, it's really surreal, and I've been processing it and just taking in all of the congratulations, and it's been a really hectic time, and I'm really grateful because ultimately it's a symbol of visibility for those who are coming after me to show that, you can look like me and be in this space and find success. And I think that that is what matters to me most, especially for my legacy. And it's just really a humbling, unreal turn of events.
Massive icon for representation in the industry, yeah. You're also on TV shows such as FBI, Blue Blood, and Weird City. Do you prefer TV or theatre?
Well, my first love is theater, and that's where my training is. I feel that there's nothing like being on stage and having that live, visceral experience with an audience in real time. But TV and film is also really cool. It's a different medium. It's a different technical skill, and I like to move fluid between all the different mediums. But theater is definitely my first love.
Mhm. Um, you've worked with such icons as Felicia Rashad and Jordan Peele, and I'm sure you've received some brilliant advice from such legends. Is there any that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, so Felicia has been tremendously helpful in terms of my career. I credit her with discovering me. We met almost a decade ago at this point, and we did a reading together of a screenplay that was coming up in 2015. And it was through that experience that she then offered me the role of Sylvester in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And she's just always been present and helpful and encouraging along the way. And I think that something that she's always instilled is that it's always about the work. And in Hollywood and entertainment, there's all this glamour and glitz, but at the end of the day, as an artist, you have to stay focused on the work, because when everything else is gone and the lights turn down, what remains is your craft and your talent as an artist. And I think that having that as my compass and guiding light over the years has been extremely grounding as I navigate everything.
Mm. What made you decide to go into production in addition to acting?
It really the pandemic. For years, my wife, other colleagues in the industry have suggested that I get into producing, given my skill sets. I was really hesitant and opposed to it because I just wanted to focus on acting and just really going that route. But it was during the pandemic that I realized, once everything shut down, that as an actor only, you're placing your power in the hands of casting directors and directors and filmmakers who have to have a role for you in their project. And if that isn't the case, then you're just sitting idly by. And I realized that as a producer, you have a more active hand in being involved in telling those stories and bring them to the forefront. And you can go out and curate and find scripts and find plays that you want to act in and ultimately produce. And I realized that having that sense of power, especially at this current time where the multi-hyphenate is king or queen. And I really just wanted to position myself to be as successful as possible given the odds.
You get to be like a bigger part of the industry you love.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you are the CEO of the award-winning Ivy Line Productions, are you able to tell us anything about what you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm currently working on a TV project, which is really cool. It's written by a wonderful writer named Roxanne Beck or Roxanne Ray, and it's called The Queen of Magic. That takes place in New York in the early 20s. And I think it's really cool because, again, I'm all about championing stories that are underserved or unheard of. And really, it's really cool that, in a male-dominated space such as the world of magic, you think of Houdini, all these other names, but here you have someone who is like a hidden figure in history, and I think that it's really cool, and I'm really excited because it's really an exciting story that needs to be brought to the forefront.
That's so lovely that you're so passionate about bringing forward like new and unheard of stories.
Yeah.
What inspires you and motivates you?
I think like I kind of touched on earlier, just visibility and representation. I find myself fortunate to have been able to find success in this industry. You know, it's very difficult and challenging. And I think that I'm doing it for those who are coming after me. And, you know, I want to be able to make a stamp in this industry so that one day someone can look up Lamar Richardson and use me as an example or a role model of what they want their career to look like. And, you know, it's not lost on me that, you know, I'm a person of color, that I'm Black, I'm first generation. You know, my family came to the US in the 80s. So there's a lot of different facets of community that I represent and symbolize. And, you know, I just really take that to heart, even as I navigate and pick out stories or pick out roles to take on. I just think that it's all about the big picture, and that's what I'm trying to serve.
I was very excited to hear that you've been to England before and you studied at Oxford University. What do you miss about the UK?
I was just there in April and in November. I love the UK. I ultimately want to be able to produce on the West End as well. So I'm trying to make that my next pivot. You know, I love it there. I have family there. I just love the culture. I love that it's so eclectic, and it's like New York. It's a melting pot of different cultures and different segments and different neighborhoods and communities. I think that it's just such a wonderful cultural experience there, and I can't wait to find my way into that part of the industry there because I'm really excited about it.
I'm a massive theatre kid, so I'd love to see your work in the West End. It'd be great.
One day.
But yeah, that's all the questions I have for today. Thank you so much for talking to us. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Wonderful to meet you.